300,000 naira and your child is attending a school that they pay 1.5 million naira. And every time you need to apply for loans to be able to pay your child's school fees. Like he said, like Babatunde said, he said, that child that you are giving everything to satisfy, this child has his own life to live. Just like you're living your own life, right? He said something, when last did you call your mom? When last did you call your dad as an adult? I'm not saying you don't give your child the best. I'm just saying you should also make the child understand that this is what I can afford. If you can't afford a school fees of 1.5 million, right? You earn 300,000. Why don't you look for a school that that can fit into your salary? But for situations where you really want to give your child the best, right? And then maybe the schools around your area are way more than what you can afford. Yes, we can encourage you to take loans. Now, but this type of loans are not loans that you would take and it now becomes a habit. For every time you want to pay your child's school fees, you keep taking loans. No, it should be a one-off. Maybe maybe the first fee. You know, some cases where children, as they advance in their career progression, there are some requirements that you need to meet up with. Like for children in primary 6, JS3, SS3, you know, those classes require some external examinations that would need you to pay more fees, right? So for those situations, we can advise that you take loans, right? But remember, the loan comes with interest, high interest. So you should also be able to pay for such loans. Advantages of loans, personal loans, fixed interest, repayments are predictable. Like I said, you already have a repayment plan. Now, someone once asked me a question. He said, Lillian, I earn 500,000 naira monthly, and I want to access 10 million naira. How do I go about it? I mean, you are in the space, you should enlighten me. And I asked her, I said, 500,000 naira, how are you going to be paying back? If you earn 500,000 naira, even if they spread that loan repayment for 2 years, you cannot meet up. You will struggle to pay. So, when payments are predictable like this, you know how much you can give out from your salary comfortably. You know when these loan amounts are going, you are still working, and you are not struggling, you are not feeling like someone is tying your neck, right? So for personal loans, I will tell you the truth, the interests are usually very high, right? Very high, and that's because they are not taking anything from you. You are applying for these loans. In fact, they don't even need to, for fintech firms, we don't need to do any paperwork. We just get your BVN, insert your BVN, we'll run a credit check on you. Now, this credit check, most of us are not even aware of credit checks. Now, credit checks, we have credit reports, we have credit bureaus, right? We pay them. Okay, they are regulated by CBN as well. So we pay them to, the aim of this credit report is to also curb people from, you know, taking too many loans from different firms, different banks. Now, when we run a credit check on you, and then there is a credit, we have First Central, we have CBC, we have CRS. Now you'll be shocked. Some persons think they can just go here, take loan from here, go here, take loan from here, and they are flexing, you know, I will not pay. Guess what? When you take from here, you think those banks are not keeping records. Go for a bigger amount. Maybe you now want to take, maybe those ones, they are just taking 300, 500 here and there. When you now want a bigger amount, like 5M, and maybe that's when you even need the money. And then they'll tell you, sir, did you take a loan from GT Bank? And like, I took. Have you finished paying? I'll finish paying now. No. It doesn't work that way. Go and finish paying. Now, they've already reported you, so your name is on credit bureau. We are seeing it. You don't need to tell us. We don't need, when we ask you if you have loans and you don't tell us, we will still find out. Now, when this credit check runs through your profile, using your BVN, and then we are seeing you have so many loans you're struggling to pay, right? You have written off loans that you're unable to meet up with, and they've closed that loan. And then, but you're still living, you've done whatever you needed to do with the money, but you're still surviving. Now and then, you now want to apply for another one. Sorry, you still have to go back and clear up that loan. The essence of this is, when you're applying for a personal loan, be very deliberate. Know how much you're applying for. Know how much. And if they tell you this is the repayment plan, in fact, if you're earning 500,000 and you want to apply for a loan of, let's say, 2 million naira, and your monthly repayment is going to be maybe 200 and something thousand, 255,000 monthly, please just tell yourself that my salary is now 250,000. And live with that till you're done with the loan repayments. If not, you will get choked. If you're still telling yourself, my salary is 500, and when 500 comes into your pocket, the bank takes their 250, and you're left with 250. And then because you've planned your life to live on 500,000, you will struggle. So once you apply for a loan, a personal loan, and it is 500,000, please, your salary is 500,000, and your repayment amount is 250, meaning you are left with 250 to live on for the duration that the loan is going to last for. Please, for that 1 year, if it's 1 year or 6 months, just tell yourself, my salary is now 250, and I will live with 250 till I'm done with this loan. But if you have other sorts of incomes, you have another stream, maybe you have another job you're doing, you have a side hustle, then good and fine. You can just maybe, I will even advise, if you have other side hustles, right, you can choose to pay off these loans even before the loan tenure elapses, and you will boycott all of the interest. So when you take a loan of 2 million, you're supposed to pay for 1 year. If you calculate 1 year, for every month, there are interest rates applied. Now, you can say, okay, I've gotten the money at the 3rd month or at the 6th month. I want to pay off. We call it liquidation. And then you want to liquidate. Then fine. They will calculate, see, and that's why it's important to read the terms and conditions when you're applying for a loan. Be sure that when you're liquidating, they will not ask you to pay all of the interest accrued to that loan. So when you're liquidating before time, let's say on the 3rd month, you're supposed to pay the loan for the period of 12 months, right? At the 3rd month, you can say, okay, I want to pay off, please. What are your processes? What do I need to do? They'll tell you, okay, send a mail or whatever it is. I don't know, different banks with their processes. And then you pay this loan off. You will be surprised that you're not paying the complete interest on that loan. You're just paying for that period you have used the money, and then the principal balance of what was given to you. The 2 million naira, remember, you had a 2 million naira that was disbursed to your account, and then an interest, let's say the interest rate is like 800,000, 1 million, depends. So you have to pay the principal balance, first of all, before the interest. Now, the interest will now be backdated to that date that you are liquidating. So that's for personal loans. Disadvantage, like I said, yes, the rates are very high. Business loans. Okay, there are loans borrowed specifically for business purposes. These loans can be secured or unsecured. Yes, so for loans that are secured, it means if you are taking a loan for your business and you're presenting your CAC documents and every other thing that has to do with the business. Now, sometimes that business that you've presented can stand as a collateral for the loan you're taking. Sometimes they don't even need to take collaterals from you. So it can be dicey. So some business loans are secured, some are not secured. But business loans, we all know, they are strictly for businesses. You can't take a business loan and go and throw a party, no. You can't take a business loan and be using it for something else. It should be strictly for that business, because you're expanding your business because of maybe you are not able to meet up with certain amounts. And like Brother Nayo said, he said something, and I think we should also imbibe in that. Run your accounts. Run all your cash flows through your business accounts. I know someone that has a business account, right? Her business is registered. But for every payment you're making is to her personal account. Yes, she'll tell you, please, I don't trust that business account. I beg. This bank, if you come up tomorrow and say, hey, you are not doing up the business. So she runs all her transactions through her personal account. And it got to a point where she needed to apply for a business loan. And then she was asked to present her statement of accounts. And she said, sure, I can present my personal account. How? Are you applying for a personal loan? No. Now you're presenting your business account and they're looking through your business account because, of course, they will vet your account. And then you're seeing transfer to Bolanle, like that. You're making transfer. You're not keeping the money. You don't run your business through that account. Sorry, at that point, you won't be able to access the business loan. Advantages: increases business expansion. Most people take loans for their businesses to increase the business. And like I always say, I will advise you, please, when you take whatever type of loan it is, if you can pay off before the tenure elapses, please do. Now, so that you're able to curb all those, the interest rates can, for business loans, it's also high. Because they believe you're a business owner, you have money coming in. So, and then they're not taking any collateral from before. The ones that are unsecured, right? The rates can really be high. So if you take a business loan, please try as much as possible to pay off before the tenure elapses. So that's for business loan. Disadvantage is the qualification requirement. Yes, it can be very tedious. They can ask you to provide. One man said, Lillian, the only thing remaining now is for you to go ask me to bring my father's burial certificate. And I said, no, we don't do that. But really, the documentations of business loans can be very cumbersome. They can ask you, when did you start this business? How long has it been existing? And then even when you provide the CAC, they can still go as far as coming to your business place, right? Doing fiscal KYC. They need to ensure that, yes, this business has a fiscal store. In case you want to run like Lapo, they will come after you. They will come to your shop. So the paperwork can really be cumbersome compared to personal loans where, the process is seamless. You just apply online, fintech takes you through, they download your statement, and they are disbursing to you. But for business loan, the process is really quite tedious. And please, you're a business owner, and then you earn, your business, your inflow, your cash flow determines anyway how much you can access. And then you're looking at taking a loan of 200 million. And your account has not even smelled 5 million before. How? How do you even want to pay back? So you should, I feel people should be enlightened about how loan works. So the fact that you have a big plan in your head about business, you want to expand your business, I want to run, okay, now I want to have a factory, I want to start producing. Why don't you start from the basics? Start small, build your business. Now, when you get to a point where you feel you want to expand, sometimes you may not even need to get loans, right? You can get investors. You can speak to people that you feel can, they'll be interested in investing in your business, provided your business is a profitable business, right? You can get investors. Then when you build it to a large extent and you feel you want to handle it alone, then you can now start applying for bigger loans. At that stage, okay, at that level, my business is now flourishing, right? Okay, if I go to a bank and tell them I want to take 20 million, in fact, if I present my statement of account, there was one man that came to our company and he said he needed 100 million. And we said, sir, because he didn't look it. He was just a simple man. And he just said, I want 100 million. We're looking at him. Because, sorry, some of us can gossip in the office. Just say this man go pay this money. And when we checked this man's bank statement, he was over 2 billion naira. In fact, we're like, this man, he be like, say, just come sample us. Because what was 100 million going to do for him? For someone who has an account with over 2 billion naira inflow in 6 months, and he just wants 100 million. I had to ask him, sir, please, what do you need this 100 million naira for? He said, so the thing is, sometimes he really doesn't like to touch his business. So his son was going to relocate to Canada, and he needed to give the son money, and he didn't want the son to know that he has so much. So in fact, the son is outside. Can he call him? I said, yeah, sure, you can call him in. And tell the son, you see, they're telling me 100 million is a lot, though. So he just wanted to apply for that loan, and his plan was to pay it in a month's time, right? So that he won't even have to, incur any interest. So yes, for that kind of man, I won't say he's proud because he came so simple. But his business account 3 years off balance. All of us were all sure. Me, I've never seen 2 billion naira account in my life. So I was looking at the man and looking at the accounts. For some of us, we are exposed to all of these things, and it just keeps us in that space. Like, when are we going to get here? Amen. And we're like, we'll get there. We are exposed to some. In fact, I didn't know people earn as much as 20 million naira monthly as salaries until I started working in this space. Like, you will see their account. This is their salary. Monthly salary, 20 million naira. Right? And they're coming to take a loan. And they're not stupid. You use loan for different purposes. It doesn't mean you don't have savings. It doesn't mean you're not prudent or you're just a lavish spender. Sometimes you don't use your entire savings to solve some issues, some problems. We always have family problems. We have some of us that, I don't know, let me just use myself. Some of us, we are solving issues that are not caused by us. Maybe for the virtue of being you and the family that you came out from, you already have responsibilities. So as you're going to work, as you're planning your salary, you're planning for your mother's sister's child, your uncle somewhere like that. So I'm just saying, if you're applying for business loan, I don't know how I diverted, but if you're planning for business loans, please ensure that you build your business account. Use your business account as frequently as possible. Build it up to an extent where when it calls for expansion, you won't be struggling with banks. Yes, before I forget, somebody said, I'd rather go to my friends to ask for loans than go to the bank. And I told him, I said, if you keep going to friends and families, they'll get to a point where when they see your call, they'll start avoiding your calls, right? And then they'll know this one is calling for money again. Why don't you just, deal with your personal issues, right? Walk into a bank, apply for a soft loan, and live your life. Another thing is, when you ask from family, I'm not saying you shouldn't ask, I'm just saying sometimes it might be that you have a shoe that you bought last year and you've not worn it, right? And then you take a loan from a family member, and then you wear that shoe to an event, and then they're looking at it. You don't get money, you see shoe. Okay, so I was in a salon one day, and salons are where a lot of gossips happen. So one lady was just lamenting, this lady, I no go borrow money again for my life. I no go borrow. So people are like, what happened now? She said, see they post birthday, all the birthday picture, you go do birthday photo shoot. Me, we borrow money, I never do birthday photo shoot for my life. You can avoid situations like that. And that's why we have banks. That's why we have all of these loan companies. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying don't go to your family members. If you are this type that is living a life of, I don't care what people say, they like, let them look at my shoe and say, I borrowed whatever from them yesterday and I'm wearing the fine shoe, it's fine. If you're like that, good. But if you're this type that you like you like to maintain your steez and you don't want anybody to stain you, please walk into a bank and apply for a proper loan to do with whatever you need to do with the money. That's about business loan. Then for, mortgages. So some people are not aware that there's something called mortgage loan. You don't have to use your entire savings to build a house. Yes, you can't be working for 20 years and maybe you're able to save. And you know that the funny thing about this is, you've been working since 2010. In 2010, a bag of cement, I don't think it was up to 1,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken. And now a bag of cement is going for like how much? So you're saying, no, let me save for 10 years to build a house. And then when you arrive at that 10th year, maybe you're only able to save 20 million naira. You can't even buy a land in some places now with 20 million naira. In fact, places that you can live, you can't buy a land with 20 million naira. So that's why we have mortgages. you go to a bank. Not all banks offer mortgages anyway, but you go to a bank, and the way they run it is on a long-term plan. You know, when you apply for mortgage loans, the interest rates are usually very low, very minimal. And then, but the thing is, hey, if you don't meet up with that repayment, they will take your house. Okay, so that's the big disadvantage about mortgages. But of course, why won't you be able to meet up? Right? And that's where planning comes in. That's where investment comes in. You plan. You invest your money, right? So that you don't get to the point where you've done a warm, what they call it, housewarming party. People have come to rejoice with everybody's passing, and they say, oh, that's Mr. Anayo's house. Yeah, that's Mr. Anayo's house. And then one day they are passing and like, sealed, how? Mr. Anayo, not you. Sorry. Okay, let me use one, Mr. Not you, sir. I'm just, So yeah, you are passing, and then we all know that's Mr. Ken's house. Let me use Mr. Ken. And then one day, we get there, and the house is sealed because you're unable to meet up with the repayments. So when you're applying for mortgages, you also need to plan your finances around the repayment amounts. Be sure you're not getting choked when repaying. And that's why I like mortgage loans. The terms, the tenures are usually very long. So it makes it very convenient for you to pay, right? So that's for mortgage loans. Auto loans, car loans. So car loans, there's so many, there's auto check, there's so many car loans now, right? Car loan companies now. And what they do, you would apply for this car loan, right? Of course, they run their checks, ensure that you can meet up with the repayment, monthly repayment. But there's another thing that they will do, they will hold the papers. The papers will be in the company's name. So it will not be in your name. Even though the car is for you, you are driving a car that is for you. It's just like you are one leg in and one leg out until you're done with the repayments. So if you're unable to meet up with the repayment, just like mortgage loan, the car will be taken back from you. But why do we encourage car loans? They have flexible repayments. So instead of using your entire savings to buy a car, why don't you take car loans where you can just be repaying monthly at your own convenience, right? And then you can use your savings for other things. You can invest your savings. You can, buy treasury bills, right? And other things that you can do with your money. So you don't park all of your savings and go and purchase a car. Car is a liability. It's not an asset. You have to keep funding it. So it's not like a house where it appreciates over time. For a car, you have to maintain it. In fact, let me not bring this in here. But for people that maybe their wives are not working and they have to fuel their car, fuel their wife's car, maintenance, and all of that. I have a friend who doesn't work, and she has a car. The husband fuels the car. So one time she was driving and she got stuck. She just parked the car and came down. She didn't know what to do with the car. She just parked it and came down and called the husband. The husband said, you see, when I used to buy a car for you, you say, no, my friends are driving cars. But another thing is, you should be able to meet up with you should be able to sustain that car, maintain the car. So when you're applying for a loan, when you're applying for a car loan, please tell yourself that as I'm applying for this loan, as the repayment is going out from my pocket, I'm also fueling this car. I'm also doing what? Maintaining the car, right? But most people take car loans and just use it for business. Most people that take car loans from all these auto check leasing companies, they'll just take it and they call it, they get someone to do an Uber for them so that the car can keep bringing, returns. So at the end of the day, you're not losing, So that's about car loans. Auto loans. Disadvantages with missed repayment, the car can be repossessed. Long term may extend before the useful life of the car. So imagine you take a car loan now, I'm not so familiar with cars, but let's say I know Corolla. I don't know what model, but let's say you take a car and you take a car loan, and then you buy this Corolla 2008 model, and then you're supposed to pay for 10 years. 2008, we are in what? 2025. You just imagine the lifespan of that car, and then you're still paying the loan, and the car gets to a point where the car is no longer useful. It's now a scrap. But remember, you still have to meet up with the repayments, right? Till whenever you're done. So yes, for auto loans, it has a serious disadvantage, which is, the tenure may extend beyond the useful life of the car. So that's for auto loans. When do I take loans? Please, don't just take loans. Like I said, I don't want to be encouraging people to take loans, but please, when it calls for it, you should know when the right time is for you to apply for loans, right? Emergency situations, health issues. You know, sometimes your HMO cannot cover up for, if you're on a HMO plan, your HMO cannot cover up for a certain illness. You can take a loan. Maybe you don't also have the money, right? You can just apply for a soft loan. I don't know what kind of illness it is, but I'm just using health emergencies, right? You can apply for loans that would solve that need at that point, right? And then growth opportunities. I know a friend that loves to develop herself. She loves to take courses online. And then she told me one day, Lillian, I'm going for an MSc and I'm going to run it in Lagos Business School. And I said, wow, Lagos Business School? I mean, how much is their school fees? How much is your salary? And you know what? She said, I will take a loan. So, do you know what happened? She took a loan from a bank. She went for the course. After that course, in fact, before she concluded, it was already on her CV. She updated her CV. MSc in view, Lagos Business School. That's a big one. Before she concluded with the study, she got a job opportunity. She got a job offer that was 3 times her salary. And that was a big one. But not everyone would be opportuned to have that kind of job, or will I say, not everyone. But you can also take loans to upgrade yourself. You can take loans for career advancement. You can take loans to improve yourself. And it's not a bad thing. If you don't want to touch your salary, you just feel, let me just take this loan and do this course. It's fine. It's not a bad thing. Right? Okay. Investing in an asset. Brother Nael showed us lots of investment opportunities that we can take advantage of. Now, if you know you're not able to, I don't think there's any investment platform that you can't even do. Shares, she said it, as low as 15 naira you can buy a share in Zenith Bank, right? So, but for other investment that would really want it to yield so much returns, you can take loans. Yeah, you can. You can access loans and get those investments, right? You can do that. But please, don't take loans to do parties. Don't take loans to buy clothes. Don't take loans to buy hairs for ladies. You know, we have hairs that are 5-point-something million naira now. Yes, we do. Mongolian, and the rest of them. Okay, one of the hair vendors here. So they do that, and because you want to feel, you're putting yourself in on due pressure. You want to just feel among, show yourself that, I did here. You're not feeling my hair, I don't know. Some people can just be talking to you and they're waving their hair. You need to feel that hair. And at the end of the day, you're taking the loan to buy hair. And people are feeling the hair. Yes, I love your hair. They tell me that too. But when you are paying back, they will not be there to pay with you. Yes, they won't be there to pay with you. And then, when they come knocking in your door, and maybe God now help you, those people that admired your hair are now passing by. And then I don't know if God just save you that is Lapo. You went to Lapo. And then you're dressed up for maybe an event. And you're looking so flashy with your 5 million naira hair. And Lapo just come. You know the way they can be very aggressive. Madam, you never pay our money. And people are like, it's not that lady that wears good hairs. Sorry, are we paying now? They don't even hear are we paying now. They are very aggressive when they are coming for collection. They don't even want to listen to you. And they can even put the hair while you're all dressed up. So why expose yourselves to all of that? Right? So know when to take loans. Know the right times to take loans. It could be a point, like I said, there's a medical issue, school fees, maybe you just want to give your child the best, and it should be a one-off thing. You shouldn't live your life banking on loans, in quotes, when you can take loans to solve some immediate needs, right? So let's try to curb our spendings, maintain a lifestyle that we can afford. Don't go. Okay, so there's a lady that approached me and said they are struggling to pay rent. And I told her, I said, where are you staying? She said, 2-bedroom apartment. I said, how much is the rent? She said, 1.2 million naira per annum. That's yearly. Okay, how much do you earn? She said, monthly. Sometimes she gets 70,000. Sometimes 80,000. Then what of your husband? He's a security in one firm. How much does he earn? 80,000. So how have you people been paying? No, the last time it was church that paid for us. So I said, wow. And now you are stuck. She said, why don't you try a self-contained apartment? So Lillian, God forbid. Lillian, as she look me finish, I go carry my children and go public house. No. I cannot. And I got to see that she has placed herself so high that she can't even calm down. And that's the problem we have. See, you grow, allow yourself to grow. When I go to the market and people see me pricing, they're like, there's one Yoruba name they used to call me. Alaroro, thank you. Auntie, as she dress fine like this, how you dey price tomato? I say, I feel buy you. Auntie, I can price, oh. Hey, I can price, yes. But I think my husband is more pricey than myself. Yes. So you can, he's here, yes. I think he's here, yes, he's here. Okay, he's here. So yes, I can price things. And it's not because I am an alaroro. No, I am not. I just feel these market people can be very funny. They will just assume that the way you look good is the way your pocket is. Sometimes it's packaging. Yes. Sometimes you can just wear, and the truth is, sometimes even what we wear might not be so expensive as people perceive. I can dress all glammed up, and if I tell you how much I bought this jacket, it can be 2,000 naira. And then someone is seeing you in the market and thinking, that jacket, if it be like 20,000, maybe give her, and then they're already judging you by your. But that doesn't mean if I'm going to the market, I should tie a wrapper now. No, I can't do that. So I will price. Yeah, so I will price things. And you can call me Alaroro. I will walk away and go to the next shop till I get what I want to buy. So yes, I'm just saying, cut down your spendings, manage your funds as well. But when it calls for loans, when it's time to take loans, you should be able to take advantage of such loans, right? But don't live your life on loans. Don't plan your life on loans. The next slide, please. Managing debts. Assess your debt situation. I think I've said, okay, let's just take it. So assess your debt. Like I said, if your salary is, let's say 1.2 million, or let me bring it down to 200,000 naira, and then you take a loan of which you're making monthly repayment of 50,000 naira. Please tell yourself that your salary is now 150. Even if somebody asks you, and you know in your mind that your salary is 200,000, but please, because you know there is a loan you are servicing, reduce your spendings to. If I just start telling yourself that I'm going to be working with 150 as my salary till I'm done with this loan. create a budget. Create a budget. Now, for situations where you've created a budget, right? And then you're working with your budget. And like I said, something starts going, off, emergency situations comes up. Please, when you're applying for loans, right, make sure it's in line with your budget. Now, you've made a budget for, let's assume this month, I'm budgeting 200,000 naira for maybe school fees for a child, and then somehow salary comes in, family needs, unexpected expenses, and you don't have up to that 200,000 naira. But remember, you have a budget. So because you have maybe 100,000 naira left, please, when you're applying for loans, don't go and start applying for 500,000. Remember, you have a budget. You're working with what's left to pay for the school fees. So apply for that 100,000 naira and manage it. Because sometimes you can say, okay, yeah, it's just 100,000 naira I need, but since these people can give me 5 million naira, let me just take it. Trust me, if you keep money in your account, like you're seeing that money, it will not stay. Especially accounts that are not locked down, like you can easily access the account. You have loan, you have what's it called, app, like you can easily pay. You can even do transfers. You are working. But then I talked about Mr. Babatine talked about impulsive buying. God help me. When I had my first child, I suffered from that thing. If I just see anything that is babyish, even if I don't have the money, that's how I will stand and be looking at that thing. God, where can I get the money from? And I will just come back with that thing. And my husband will say, you don't have money. We are seeing bicycle, baby this, baby that. Yeah, so because I just felt I'd not gone through that process of being a mother, and having to cater for a little baby. So I just felt I should give my baby the best, So if I see a fine shirt as I'm working and buying the shirt for my baby, my first son, his wardrobe became so big that even my mom said, I didn't do this for you people. It was wrong, right? I learned in a bad way. Because there was a day, I think I bought something that my baby grew so big, my first child, he grew so big, he was so robust. So I bought one fine shirt, it was so expensive. And then I got home, and I can't even remember the shop where I bought it from. It was on the island. So getting home, and we tried it on, oh God, it was not his size. And that shirt was expensive. And it's not like I had so much money, right? He was just an impulsive buyer. I was just passing, and I saw the shirt, and I felt it was going to be fine on my son, and I bought it. And when he couldn't buy it, I was just telling myself, I didn't even tell my husband, I was just telling myself, how will I do this shirt now? Well, okay, even if I want to keep it, and the next child is not a boy, and that's what happened. My next child became a female, so the shirt was just there. So sometimes we buy what we don't even need. Yes, we just... Grace Foundation. Yeah, but that was what I eventually did, right? Because my next child is a female, right? So, I kept it for 2 good years. It was just there because my son was still big. And even when he became slim, the shirt was now short, So eventually I gave it out. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's impossible. In fact, do you know what I did? On my WhatsApp, all those people that sell, let me not call her name. So I don't view their status. No, I don't. Because I know I have it. He said personality traits. See, I'm that type that, thank God, my husband is opposite of me. My husband plans his finance very well. From beginning of the year, he has a table, he draws up his budget, and I'm looking at this man like, how do you do this? But I'm learning. And that's why I heard today. We should learn to manage our finances, plan, draw up a budget and work with it. So I am not that type. I'm that type that if I see something I like so much, I have the money, I will just buy it. Even though I will now wear it the next day and it's not my size, I'll now be stuck, So yeah, we should learn to avoid impulsive buying. Some people can be passing by an estate and see a very fine house. They're already thinking of which loan company to apply for to go and buy that house. Even when they have a house they are living in. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy houses, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't acquire more properties, but it should be a need. It should be something that is needed at that point in time. It shouldn't be something that you're just buying out of impulse or because you feel a friend, stays in that estate and you love the estate, you just want to buy a house there. So let's prioritize our needs and know when to take these loans. Next slide, please. I didn't talk about loan sharks, sorry. So we know about loan sharks, right? Now they are all over the internet. Get 200 naira, get 200,000 naira with no interest. It's a lie, yo. And the sad part? They synchronize your contacts. Yes. Once you click on the link, input your details, the way they develop these apps, it will shock you that they can even access your WhatsApp chats. And then, many times they've called me. They do this automated calls too. And then I'm hearing, hello, we just want to inform you that Mr. Obina took a loan from us and he has not paid for over two, And then you're exposing to yourself to all of these loan sharks. I'm not saying don't patronize them, right? But I'm just saying sometimes these loan sharks are not regulated by CBN. They're not regulated by CBN. So they can get your details and even sell out your details. And you won't know. People are just getting your information, and in fact, there's a customer that called me that he was just in his office one day, and somebody called him and said, please, you are due for a loan, and he was like, due for a loan? How? I never applied for a loan in your company. But this is what happens when you click on all these apps, and they're able to get your information, they have your data, and they can even use your data for fun, for what's it called, fraud. So when you're applying for loans in all of these loan sharks, these loan companies, these fintech loan companies, please be careful. One, be sure that they have a physical office, so that if you have any complaint, you can easily walk up to their office. Not that in fact, when you get a debit and it's not supposed to be, maybe the amount they debited you was not supposed to be the amount that you signed for, right? You just find yourself struggling to reach out to them. You can even call them and they'll tell you, okay, we'll get back to you in 5 days, and that 5 days we'll take an extra 1 month. So why don't you just walk into companies that have physical offices? So for situations where you have, maybe you even want to liquidate, you can properly apply for liquidation process and then you liquidate your loans. So please, let's avoid loan sharks. Are loans bad? Loans are not bad after all. Now, it depends on how you access these loans. Please, while I'm encouraging people to take loans, I'm only saying take it when it's necessary. Apply for loans when it's necessary. Don't apply for loans for luxury. Don't apply for loans to do parties. Don't apply for loans to buy clothes, shoes, or whatsoever. You can apply for loans to invest. You can apply for loans to sort out a medical need. You can apply for loans to pay school fees. You can apply for loans to expand your business. I hope with this few points of mine, I'm able to convince you not to take more loans. So, thank you.
Please, another round of applause for her. Thank you very much, Lillian. She has successfully enlightening us on loans. So I hope we are taking notes, and we've been enjoying the session. We've been enjoying the session. Are we learning? So I'm going to introduce the first speaker. He has another session. He's going to come up again. Mr. Babatunde Afolabi obtained a bachelor's degree in accounting and his master's in business administration from the Lagos State University, and currently rounding up his doctorate degree from Lagos State University. He's currently consulting for World Bank and French Development Bank on 4 projects. Ladies and gentlemen, please, with a standing ovation, let's welcome Mr. Afolabi to the podium. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Shall we have our seats? I'm back again. Hope you're happy to see me again. Alright, okay. I won't take so much time. I'll be brief. I'm here to talk about insurance. Like I love to do, let me do a caveat. I've never worked in an insurance company before. I'm not an insurance broker. But whatever I will share with you today is a product of my own personal experience over the years in interacting with people and the jobs we do that require insurance. Let me first say that insurance works. It actually works. There's this perception in Nigeria that it doesn't, but it will work. You know, I call it the other time, it's an elitist decision. It's one way that the rich take care of themselves, that more often than on the other class feel it's a waste of money. Let's go to the first slide. Now, insurance, how does it relate to you? Insurance is a financial product designed to protect individual businesses and organizations against financial losses or risk. Insurance is basically to help you hedge against unforeseen circumstances, unforeseen risk. In fact, I've seen cases where there are no policy for a particular situation and you can discuss with the insurance that this is the business we are doing. How can you hedge? That's basically what insurance does. Help you prevent and hedge against unforeseen circumstances. It is a contract between two parties, the policyholder, which is the insured, and the insurer, the insurance company. The policyholder pays a premium to the insurer on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, who promise to provide financial protection against specified risks or losses. Now the next slide. How insurance work. Maybe for time, please, let's go to the next slide. I have limited time. The next slide. Now, types of insurance. Like I said earlier, is to help you guide against unforeseen circumstances that can come when you don't plan for it. Life insurance. Provide financial protection to beneficiary in the event of policy disaster death. People hate to hear this. Everybody's going to die one day. King Solomon died. King David died. Prophet Elijah died. All body will die. And one elite decision that a lot of people take, and I encourage everybody with children to do, is to get a life insurance. Most life insurance come in form of investment. Okay, I'll be paying this money every quarter, every year, for the next 10, 15 years. If nothing happens, you get your money back with good interest. In my secondary school, we have a little token that we pay, like a class insurance, that in case of anything happen, the insurance pays to the family of the deceased. That is life insurance. Health insurance, I'm more interested in this, covers medical expenses and manages the health of the policyholder without paying from the pocket. Most of us do out-of-pocket expenses for our health needs. Almost people. Or peradventure we visit Chukudi, go to a nearby chemist, and we don't do health insurance. I want to encourage everybody, even as a church, as a foundation, let us come together and register for health insurance. Nobody, especially for our children. You have no excuse to have a pregnant woman and you are looking for money. That's why I call it is an elite decision. Let me tell you, the paracetamol you buy, the antibiotics you buy, when you aggregate all the money together in 1 year, it's far more than what I pay for annual insurance package. I'll probably do tests. I will see a consultant. I'll be attended to. I will take drugs. So it's an elitist. It's like you are paying ahead of the year. That this year, I'm paying 50,000 naira for my health insurance. God forbid bad thing, any major illness. But you talk about low level, mid level, they take care of you. You see a consultant at free will. That is for health insurance. Then property insurance. This is also what a lot of people don't do. As at the last check, is 1% of the value of the property. So you have a 50 million naira property. You subscribe for fire incidents. 1% of 50 million. How much is that? 10% is 5 million. 1% is 500,000 naira. Against fire. Nobody prays for it. But when it happens, these are things that damages people and sets people back. for years. It's a small amount of money. Liability insurance. Liability insurance covers damages or injuries caused to others, such as auto. There's this third-party insurance that we do. I want to encourage us to start making claims. You can't eat my cow now. I don't wait. Because I have insurance. Even that your third-party insurance, you'll be wondering, like, why are we still fighting on the road? Because we carry that paper, we don't know the implication. That third-party insurance means when you hit someone, the insurance take care of it. So why would two people be fighting on the road? That's what they call third-party insurance, and it works. All you need to do at that moment, take picture, get a police report, and make claim, and they will pay. Insurance works. Professional liability, professional liability insurance. I do that a lot. We consult for the World Bank. Part of the requirement is that they will require a firm to produce a professional liability insurance. That for this tax they have given to us, if we make mistake, we will pay them. Because we are taking decisions on their behalf and they are not here. So they want to edge against risk. That peradventure, they misbehave. That's why we call it professional liability insurance. When you make a mistake, the insurance will pay that money on our behalf. You understand? We'll pay a percentage of it. And it's a value of the job you are doing, your exposure. Then fidelity guarantee insurance. I've also done that before. There was a time I needed to procure some goods. And they were quite much. And there were some people that would be in charge of the goods. And I needed an invoice discounting from EcoBank. They were the one that got me to know about it. And they wanted to edge that. Okay, everything is fine. What if the guys who put it there decide to be proving it? That was my first time of hearing fidelity guarantee insurance. He said, talk to your insurance. That okay. They will edge against peradventure any of the staff steals anything in that place. So we submitted the list of the staff, their age, blah, 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 the value in the store, and we paid. Peradventure they stole, the insurance will take care of it. You can see why I call it an elite decision. So the elite goes on vacation, he does his own things with peace of mind. He's been able to identify key critical aspects of their life that could give him heart attack. He decided to take care of it. That is wisdom. Next slide. Benefit of insurance. Insurance provides financial security against unexpected events. Nobody knows when anyone will fall sick. You could travel, they say your son is having a headache, and you may not have money. Your health insurance takes care of that. Provide financial stability. Ensures financial stability by providing a safety net. Encourages a responsible family lifestyle. True, I tell people that, I'm sorry to use this, but it is not too responsible to have a family and you don't have an health insurance cover for them. It's not a responsible lifestyle. It is not. Then risk management. Insurance helps manage risk by transferring the risk to the insurer, like the issue of professional liability insurance. Our client had already transferred those risks of our misbehavior to the insurance company. So peradventure there is any professional issues, the insurance take care of it and insure whatever exposure they may have. Peace of mind. Insurance provides reassurance and reduces stress. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Despite the rushed presentation, I'm sure we're still able to pick one or two things, as well as from the other presentations. Let's give all of the speakers a round of applause. They have shared from their wealth of experience, and I'm sure we have picked on one or two things. This is not just a talk shop. We're not just here to hear them speak. I'm hopeful that after now, we would have picked up one or two practical pieces of information that we can begin to apply. And I think they all stressed, financial management is not something you need to plan how to accomplish. You can start immediately. And I'm glad that some of the tips that we're giving here are actually practical. There are things that you can begin to practice right from here. Most of us carry smartphones. There's so much that you can do on your smartphones right from here, drawing from insights from some of the nuggets that have been shared here. All right, so we'll take questions. I'd like you to give them a round of applause. I'd like all of the speakers to join me up here on stage, right, please? And while they are doing that, I know there are questions, and so if you have a question, can I please just see your hands up? If you have a question for any of them, either based on the information they shared, or you have a general question that you just want to ask that relates with finance, please put the hands up. Okay, so from you, say 1, you're number 1, you're number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. 8, 9. I hope we'll be able to take all of the questions, and 10. The good thing is, for as many as we are able to take, we will take them. We'd like to please just quickly write down your question, if you don't mind, and Sister Eniola will be around to pick them up. We'll try as much as possible to address all of the questions. For the ones we can't take, we'll take them after now, okay? But I noted down a couple of questions. I'll just start with that while we collect the questions from the house. Okay. So, thank you very much. I think I'll just stand so that we can move very quickly. Okay? Thanks for your presentation. It was really impactful. My first question is to Mr. Babatunde. Am I correct? Sorry, I hope I didn't mess up your name. Okay. So some people, you spoke about personality traits, you know, as one of those things that affects the way people invest, the way people manage their finances. And I wrote here while you were talking, I said some people seem to have those inherent personality traits or behavioral patterns that make financial discipline and well-building particularly challenging. And despite their best efforts, they find themselves falling back to bad habits, you know, especially as it has to do with managing their finances. So what practical interventions, you know, would you recommend to help such individuals break free from these limiting tendencies and achieve, you know, their financial stability? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay, like I said, personality traits. I use myself as an example because I did a study and it was confirmed that a lot of people, that how we are framed up affects the way we react to things. Regarding financial management, like I said, in my own example, I can't do budgeting. I can't really plan like that. The only thing I use to edge against that because of my nature is that I develop financial goals, exciting financial goals ahead of time. Like I told you, I sell cars. So when I have any loose cash, play too much in my account, next thing, I quickly buy that. I quickly buy a car that I can use to resell. And the moment I'm selling again, I'm buying another one. By the time I keep doing that, something will just come up, I will invest it somewhere. I know I can't save. I'm not disciplined enough to save cash, and I will not spend it. So one of the things for people that you know that is an inherent personality trait, all you need to do is that develop a financial goal early on time. And number 2, you need to understand that this is my issue. You need to be intentional about it. And I talk about the financial goal. It's like a picture of the future, an exciting picture of the future. That alone is enough. You know, when you look at your kids at home, you can't put their school fees money into their account and spend it. Because, you know, this is a child with a beautiful picture. So use that, you understand, but when you don't plan, you have no financial goal, it's going to be difficult for someone with my trait.
Thank you very much. I think what I'm hearing you say, and if I'm interpreting it correctly, is that I usually feel like money that has no name, has no identity, can answer any name, right? And that's the usual thing. So what he's saying basically is that your financial goals helps you connect those monies that are lying around in your account and so on to specific things, specific goals. And if, like him, you have a problem with, you know, keeping money in monetary form, then it's best that you connect it to something. Either put it in an investment and all of that. Another area is you can automate some of these things, right? You can automate it such that as the money is hitting your account, it goes to specific areas so that it's not even your money in the first place. I think you begin to view it as not part of your money, because once it comes in, it goes to address specific areas. Thank you very much for that. All right, I hope we are still collecting the questions. All right, so I'll come to you, Brother Nayo. You spoke about contentment. Now, contentment is one of the most, for want of a better word, one of the most abused words when it comes to, you know, aspiring for a better life. I grew up with a father who would always stress on that word, content, be content, be content. Contentment is next to godliness. He would stress it so much. And I think while stressing that to me in my young mind, one of the things I would say he failed to do was to contextualize it. And so I grew up with the mindset that contentment means just accept whatever life throws at you, you know, and wait on God for the next level. It was almost like God, when it's time to move, God will move you somehow. So just keep waiting on God. All right, that's what, to me, growing up, that's what contentment was. And thank God for exposure. Thank God for further education. You know, so I'd like to say this. Contentment is often misunderstood as a lack of ambition, leading some to settle for less than they are capable of achieving. How can individuals strike that balance between genuine contentment and the drive to improve the quality of their life without falling into complacency? You know.
Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, contentment, like you said, it can be misconstrued for complacency, lackadaisical approach to things. But contentment is not lack of ambition. It's not, and it shouldn't be put in that perspective or context. I have a quote that I saw recently, and it just, not up to a week ago, I posted it on my status. It says, I can hold, I don't know why this, it's like a coincidence or something, just got landed. I can hold both contentment and ambition in my heart. I have gratitude for everything that God has brought me to this moment, and I have the courage to pursue new hopes and dreams. So, while you are settled where you are, just like excellence is a journey, you are not pushing yourself or unduly lusting for things that are not within your reach, but you are driving with hope and ambition based on the Word of God and the reality of where you are for new things. It's not a laid-back attitude to say that everything that happens is okay. No. You must drive. That passion, that push for new things must be there. But while you are pushing, don't go do it the wrong way. Because if you are not contented with where you are going and the journey, because while you are contented with where you are, there's a journey in front of you that is leading you to higher grounds. So while you are in that journey, please do not look sideways and begin to compare yourself and begin to unduly see yourself as if you are deficient. No, you are not deficient. You're only on a journey for something higher. And that ambition must drive you, but you must not settle where you are. I don't know whether I have explained that, but the drive, the focus, the pursuit must be there. It must be there. But while you are doing that, don't allow what is beside you or what another person is doing to drive you into lust or drive you into unrealistic expectations. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that very clear answer. Contentment doesn't stop you from aspiring. Contentment helps you to be secure in whatever level you are at while you are aspiring for the next level. So you are not overreaching yourself. You are familiar with the place you are comfortable with where God has brought you to, but you are aspiring and waiting on him for the next level. I hope that explains it clearer. That's basically what it is. So ambition and contentment go well together, right? Go well together. Our sister Lillian was talking about loans. One of the reasons why some people get into those loan, what will I call it now? Loan nets. Those loan sharks and all the rest is because usually they are not content with where they are. They are living their lives as a show for others. And so they borrow and borrow and borrow to live the life at a level they've not reached yet. And then before you know it, they are trapped. They are trapped in debt traps, and then for the rest of their lives, some of them struggle and get into trouble. Okay. So I'll take some of the questions here are a bit technical, but I'll just take as many. They revolve around the same context. Okay. I'll take this one first. It says, if you are living in a 2-bedroom flat where the landlord keeps increasing the rent every other year, and you have tried to get a self-con just to find out that it is about 50,000 naira different, that makes it so difficult to get another place. Please, what can one do? Sorry. Oops. So this person basically is asking that they currently live in a 2-bedroom apartment, but the landlord keeps increasing the rent every year. They've tried to get a self-con, but the price difference between the self-con and their current apartment is just 50,000 naira. And it makes it difficult to get another place. I'm not sure I understand this question. Please, what can one do? But that's the question. Maybe the Holy Spirit is interpreting the question to you in a different way. Do you get what the person is asking?
Let me say what is on top of my head here. Okay. And I may not get it contextually right, but what I have. You are currently living in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and we are trying to cut your coat according to your cloth by going to a self-contained, and the difference is not much. 50,000 is not that reasonable. But you also need to consider the fact that you have a landlord that every other year increases your rent. So that, for me, that is a factor. And it's important that you put that into consideration and know that if you continue to stay where you are, you might get to a point whereby what the landlord is asking for you might not be able to pay. So if you're taking a decision, sometimes decisions are not really cast on stone and they might not really work out the first time. But what you need to do is to prayerfully know, what do you want at this time? What do you want? 2-bedroom flat, is it what you really need? Can you stay comfortably in self-contained? If you can, I advise you take that step in faith, knowing fully well that if you continue to stay here, it is a continuous increase. And it will get a point you might not afford it. So my advice is this: take the self-contained, and at least in the first 2-3 years, there will be no increment. I think that's the normal thing. If you pay the first 2 years or first 3 years, most landlords don't talk about increment. And it will give you a moment of respite for you to plan and know whether you should move ahead or continue to stay where you are. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Brian Ayo.
Let's even assume that question was directed at us. Okay? We have somebody who has come and probably wants some grant to help pay the rent, and you have this kind of problem. Now, you know, some people are so sold out to certain locations. Certain locations. You say your 2-bedroom flat. The difference between the 2-bedroom flat and the self-contained is only 50,000 naira. This is locational, I think. And I think what the person, probably in new site or satellite town, if the person, I mean, you better be thinking of considering another location. Don't say I cannot go to Okoko. I can't stay in Okoko. I can't stay elsewhere. I can't stay in Vokes. I must stay in satellite town. Or that's where you have such things. I've had several situations like that. For me, we'll probably be asking you to think of changing location, because rents are locational. Rents are locational. So think of changing your location. That's what I'll tell you.
Thank you, sir. So be flexible, okay? Plan according to your resources. Thank you, sir. Now, question for you, any of you actually. Say, I have a land I paid for in the year 2013 and I have not developed the land. How do I go about it since my savings is not balanced? Okay. Then the second question is, how can I start a business related to selling books with a salary which I earn about 80,000 naira and other income? Right, so he has land, he hasn't developed, he bought it in 2013. How can he go about handling that? Anybody can take it.
Okay, let me talk about it. You have a land 2000 and what? 13, and you've not developed it. See, development is capital intensive. And when we talk about why we are afraid of developing, or why we are eager to develop land here, is because of land grabbers. So that if you don't do anything, they start taking over on it. So what you need to do is show presence in that place. And what I mean show presence, they might not even need money. Once in a while, you take people and go and clear the place. Let people know there's somebody that is there. You can just, instead of developing it fully, set up like a small place for abokis or people to stay there for you. That's for that side, until you have the capacity to develop. And who says you must develop? If you get a point, a land appreciates, and you can sell it and turn over the money instead of losing it. And if the threat is there that you may lose it, and you can resell it, or you can get a partner to develop, or you can enter into an agreement for people to develop, manage over time, and hand over back to you. These are options. These options are viable any day, any time, especially if the land is located in a viable place. On the other one is what was the second question?
A business selling books.
Okay.
Yeah, on a salary of 80,000
yes.
naira.
For that one, you need to start small. And you need to, before you start that, you need to look at the books that are easily disposable. Books that people actually buy immediately from your area of influence. What are those books that people buy? You can buy 2 copies. Start with 2 copies of it. Instead of not starting, the greatest risk is not starting. Buy 3 of those books or 4 of those books, different topics that you know that people are interested. Start with that. They buy from you, sell off that 4. Then buy the next time. You be sure you are disciplined to keep traction of that money and not to mix it with some other thing else. And have that growth mindset that every other time I'm buying book, I'm buying 1 extra or 2 extra, plowing back the income from what I have done. First of all, you start with the most sought after books. You are in a working environment, they like motivational books. Start with motivational books. You sell off that first 4, plow back again, buying 6 this time. You must be intentional, you must be disciplined. Then the next time you are buying 8. But you must this time be conscious of the ones that you can relate, not the ones that will stay in your hand forever, tying your funds. It's when you get to a point whereby you are big, you are getting big, you also begin to engage people you can supply those books to, where you can give your time to take books to people and make connections on where you can sell those books. But start small. The danger of not starting is greater than the danger of what you're complaining about now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And just to add quickly to
Hello.
that.
Can I just,
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I think I would recommend for that person 2 options. I will give you a short-term approach and a long-term approach. The first short-term approach is that in today's world, you don't even need to buy any books. You have a phone. Identify major publishing house here in Nigeria. Maybe you have your interest you want to sell. Identify where they are buying them, where they are selling them. You have a phone. Start updating your status on social media and do books on this. You'll be surprised. People will be chatting you, asking for order. Asking for order. Look for one money. Go and buy. You don't need to stock and keep. You keep your salary running. Just be marketing it online. I can bet it with you. People will be asking for it. So you go and buy, you sell. Then in the long run, go for a business plan lecture. Carefully look at how you want to see the business in the next 5 years. Then carefully work towards it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was actually, incidentally, what I was going to add. I was going to say that, one of the easiest ways of quickly, when you start a new business or when you are thinking of starting a new business, one of the easiest way of quickly making a headway is to think about what you can layer on what currently exists. People sell books currently. There are bookshops, there are individuals that sell books. The question you should be asking yourself is, what else, what innovation can I bring to the space of selling books? All right, sometimes coming into a place where a business already exists, you might find it difficult to break through because there are established people already doing that business. It might be difficult for you to break through. But when you come with an innovative idea like what he just said now, all right, when you think of, I want to build an app where people can request for books, right? That is an innovation. You are still selling books, but now it's request-based, right? You are putting things on your status, and people are asking questions and buying books. You've created a website where you load ebooks and people can buy. Those are innovative ideas. So let that usually be the way you go. What else? What value? What else am I bringing to this space? Because that's the quickest way of breaking into a market, especially a market that is already filled with established players. All right? Thank you very much, sir, for that. Okay, there was a question I was looking at here. Sister Helen says, you mentioned one can take loan for investments. Are there specific requirements for doing this? How much do you have to earn to qualify to take a loan?
Okay, like I said, if you want to apply for a loan, you have to know that the repayment amount boils down to how much you earn. Now, if you're looking at applying for a loan of 1 million and you're earning 100,000, it's not even possible. You cannot apply for it. You're not eligible for it. So what you do is calculate 50% of your salary, what you can afford to give out monthly, conveniently. So that should give you an idea of how much you should be looking at. So for instance, you earn 80,000. You should know that if you want to apply for a loan, your repayment should not exceed 40,000 naira monthly. So that should give you a run. I mean, it should give you a scope of how much you should be looking at when you want to apply for a loan. So if you want to, there's a question, what did she say?
How much do you have to have? I think you answered that.
There was something she said.
You mentioned you can take loan for investments. Are there specific requirements for doing this?
Yeah, so the requirements are, I just said it, for you to be able to access some kind of loans, right? Not all of these app loans. for loans that are 500 and above, you should be able, your business, if you're a business person, you're not a salary earner, your business should be able to cater for the monthly repayments. So if you have a business turnover of maybe 500,000 naira monthly, you should know that whatever loan you're applying for, your repayment should not exceed to 50,000 naira. Yeah. So that's your eligibility. You can tell yourself, oh, you can even do it yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you. Just tell yourself, I'm giving you that expo now, so that you don't go out to embarrass yourself, so that you don't go there and then maybe your business is just 70,000 naira monthly inflow, and then you go there and you say you want to apply for 20 million naira, and they will just look at you somehow, right? So at least you have an idea of how to work it out yourself. So you work with what you earn, work with your business cash flows, work with your salary.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now, there are a few questions here about shares. I think maybe Brother Anayo can take this, or anybody really. He said there are conceptions that shares are not very viable. Do you advise buying shares for long-term or short-term investments? That's one. Then I have a couple of people here who, let me use this person's own. They are identical, but so let me read this ones out. He said, I bought shares from GT Bank and Oando for about 5 years. I was being paid dividend, but over 10 years now, I have not been paid. We were asked to fill some forms. My friend has been on it for over 2 years now and still not settled. What is the simplest way to settle these issues? And I have a couple of other people who have similar, so I don't know if you could address those two. So first one is, are shares viable? What do you advise for buying shares for do you advise buying shares for long-term or short-term investments? And then the second one is for those who have unclaimed dividends, who have not been paid dividends for a while. Based on your experience, what is the easiest way of resolving this issue? And any of you can take those questions, actually.
Okay, thank you. The first question is, are shares viable? The viability of any share is dependent or directly proportional to the company you bought from. So there are companies you buy from. Don't ever forget that buying shares is like taking a risk. They're saying, I believe in this company, and there are companies that people have believed in over time that have gone bankrupt. So that's why I said, if you want to start with blue chip companies. I talked about Dangote, Cement, or whatever, being the most capitalized bank, Zenith Bank, being the most capitalized bank in Nigeria. Start with those ones. And you cannot go wrong on those ones. Over time, you have the capacity to now predict whether this startup would do well, and that takes some level of expertise. And if you are not an expert in that line, you can also engage your stockbroker. On people whose shares, at the point they were giving you dividends and they have stopped. And what you need to do is there's a registrar for every company. There's a registrar for every company regarding their shares. What you need to do is go to the registrar that handles that company's shares. Lodge a formal complaint. And even if you don't want to do that, at the end of every year or periodically, companies, publish the name of unclaimed dividends. People that have shares in those companies that nobody is coming after for those shares. So you check your name. If your name is there, it gives you, first of all, the ample leverage for you to go and ask for your shares and everything that has accrued to that shares over the time you lost contact. But if you don't have that information, what you need to do is find out the registrar that handles that. Send them a formal letter requesting that this be verified so that they can begin to give you back what you own. And immediately you verify that, immediately you rectify that. What you need to do is to subscribe to e-dividends. E-dividends doesn't need you to, every now and then begin to make contact with them. What it means is that whatever they need to pay you every year is transferred straight to your account electronically. I don't know whether I've answered that question. Thank you.
Okay.
Number one, shares buying is a long-term investment. It's a long-term investment. You will run into a problem if you think you can buy shares because it's like a cool ownership in the company. It's like Oga said, you believe in Dangote, there is a good company. And when you want to benefit over a period of time, long years, it's a long-term investment. And there are two major advantages to buying shares. Apart from dividend, there's also what we call bonus declaration. Over time, when you buy shares, you can buy maybe 1,000 shares in GT Bank. For most companies that do well, once in 3 years, they declare bonus. Bonus means that maybe for every 1 share you have 30% more. So when you have 1,000 shares, you have like 300 shares. So you can imagine the next 10 years, the 1,000 shares you bought could have been up to like 5,000 shares. Then the other advantage is the market value. You bought the share as 10 naira. 7 years later, the share has been treated at 18 naira. So you have gained appreciation. Meanwhile, you are getting dividend on a yearly basis. So it's a good long-term investment. And for the person with GT Bank on claim dividend, I think 4 or 5 years ago, they tried to dematerialize the issue of paper dividend. And they were publishing it in paper. I'm afraid if that person has not lost dividend, because they were making the adverts regularly that come around, come and verify your dividend. GT Bank registrar is Data Mass, and the office is in Anthony. Just walk up there, give them your name, they will verify your signature, go with the government ID. If it is still there, you will fill an e-mandate form like you said. Subsequently, you will be. And same process for anybody with unclaimed dividend of over the years. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive answer. All right, so it may still be there. Just do the right thing, seek out the registrar, take your relevant documents, and yeah.
Once that could not be traced due to you didn't come up on time, you ask them for the address of the secretary to the bank, because the registrar could tell you that because you've been advertised over the years and you did not claim it. There was a law under the Finance Act, like unclaimed dividend, now transferred to a federal government account. But I learned recently that you can still claim it. Ask for the address of the secretary to the bank. They have a secretariat. You write a letter, then you can claim it back.
Thank you. All right, quick question here. Is this, as an account officer, I'm thinking this should come to you, Sister Lillian. As an account officer, how do you avoid or navigate being responsible to a loan approval, to a loan approved and disbursed at MCC? I'm not a banker, I don't know what MCC is. Maybe it resonates with you. Yeah.
Okay, as a loan account officer, I don't think we don't even have the right to approve loans. If you're a loan account officer, you don't have the right to do that. So the only thing you need to do is, a customer walks up to you, you vet the documents. You're the first risk underwriter. We have underwriters in the system. So they are the ones to vet your documents, whatever it is that you provided, to be sure they are original, and then go about with the KYC. So the people that approve loans for disbursements is not the loan officers. So in case you keep calling your loan, maybe you have someone you know in a company, and the person is your account officer, and you keep calling the person to say, my loan has not been disbursed, what's the problem? They don't have that right. So the right comes from the CEO, right? CEO gives approvals, and depends on the loan amount. So they don't even have the access to approve loan for disbursement. If not, they will be approving loans anyhow. Right? I can call my family members, maybe 10 of them. Oh yeah, you should apply. I will just be giving everybody. So we are limited to the kind of loans. Before, we are limited to the kind of things we can approve. You can only confirm customers' documents, ensure that KYC is done, all the documents are verified, house, wherever the person stays, the business location. If it's a company, you do your due diligence, ensure that the company is in Nigeria, because most people are working virtually now, right? And you apply for, okay, then maybe someone that works with a company that is not located in Nigeria. Let's say, for instance, in the UK, maybe all of these tech companies. And then as an account officer, as a loan officer, your own is to ensure that this person is eligible to pay, right? You do your own process, vet the documents. You can even go as far as verifying that company. We always ask people to provide their official email addresses if they are not business people, right? They will have work emails. Now, for someone who doesn't have a work email, you can extend it to the HR. Now, peradventure the person is planning to maybe take that loan and run away. You wouldn't want your HR to come after you, right? So you do your own due diligence, but you don't have right to approve loans for disbursements. You don't.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, thank you very much. So this person is very interested in the money market funds. It says, how much can be invested, and are money market funds handled by banks?
Yes, money market funds, some banks have interest in money markets, and they have separate vehicles that handle such. For when it comes to, I know Stanbic IBTC has a money market platform. I know, I think that's, and some of them have interest in those money market platforms. AXA Mansard, even though he's a HMO and some insurance company, he has a money market platform. Crusader Insurance, and a whole lot of them. So it's the financial ecosystem. The financial ecosystem means a bank can be playing in several related things, even though they may not be playing directly in those things. You may not see them coming directly to own it. They may have shares in some places, controlling shares in some places, non-controlling shares, but their interest is there. So coming to the amount that can be invested is as much, because it's at your liberty. It's like a savings account. It's like there's no limit to amount or threshold or minimum balance. No.
Can you start with 10,000?
Yes, you can. You can. The first, like I told you, my son's money market stuff. He started with how much did we start that time? I think it was 3,000 or something. 3,000, yeah. Yeah, it was 3,000 someone gave to him, and I sold the idea to him, and he said, okay, yeah. And I know where it is now. So you can start with 1,000 naira. Immediately you open the platform and fund it. It's even good that you start small, so that at least you are sure that that money, you see that 1,000 that you transferred is there, then you begin to fund it. So you can start with any amount, but the most important thing is that the interest is better than that of savings, and also although.
So let me just ask these follow-up questions directly then. Say somebody here is interested in some reliable applications that can be used to start investments, in the money market, stocks and bonds. While we don't want to endorse any application, but maybe you could mention one or two that you use, for the person's enlightenment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For automated savings, Sterling Bank has, that's my bank. Sterling Bank has, if you have a Sterling Bank account and you have their One Bank app, the app can be, formatted in such a way that every month it takes money from your account and takes it to somewhere else. Sterling Bank also has what we call Double. It's also another platform for targeted savings and long-term savings. Those are, let me say my product first before I talk about any other one. Then there are also other platforms. PiggyVest is there, AfriInvest is there. There are a whole lot of them. You automate your savings and put your card that you have on that account. Immediately it gets to that date, it debits that account and takes it there. You will see it. It will even alert you that money has been taken from here and your balance is this and all those ones. And they have options on that platform. There's a place you lock funds for long term, like fixed deposit. Yeah. There's a place you keep money that you can withdraw every now and then. But that time, they put a limit to how many withdrawals you can do in a month. I think yes. PiggyVest is 4, and some other platforms is 3, some 5. So there's no, I think I've mentioned some good names here, but yes. Start with Sterling Bank. Thank you.
Okay. Can I just chip in?
Yeah.
Now, money market is a market under the entire capital market where you trade in short-term investment. It's a market where government and banks come around to trade and invest. And they do that in form of treasury bills and bonds. Now, government of Nigeria now wants to borrow money. They will sell treasury bills to the money market. And it is zero risk. You understand? The interest is almost certain. Like Oga said, like, as long as heaven and earth remain, it is zero risk. So what happens is that some banks also invest there. They invest there and resell back. But I try to tell people, like, I mean, let's be wise. You understand? You also can also play in that market directly. If you don't have the minimum, I think the minimum requirement for trade bill is 50,000 naira. It's 50,000 naira. And the rate has never been this good the last 7 years because the MPC rate is high. They pay as much as 24%. So as you invest your 100,000, 20,000 in treasury bills under money market, they pay you your interest upfront and you collect your principal after 12 months. You get it? So it's zero risk. For treasury bill 50,000. But some banks, they try to repackage it again and sell it to make people more, to make it more accessible. So you can do as low as 5,000. Maybe you can't meet the requirement of the bigger level, then you can buy, but they will give you a lesser interest because they too are collecting 24%. It is from 24% they will pay all the other charges and also pay you. So I advise, maybe as foundation, as group of people, even when you can't meet the requirements, you can put the money together. You understand? I know that people want to raise 5 million naira. I put 200,000. You put 100,000. You put 50,000 naira. We do a simple spreadsheet. My 50,000, my own 24% aggregate is 100 naira. His own is 75,000. Oga's own is 200,000. And we do it as one to take advantage of the maximum interest. Once they pay the interest at once, they will credit each other person. After 12 months, collect your principal, distribute again. But mind you, it's a short-term investment platform.
Thank you.
Maximum of 180, 360 days, 1 year.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that added context. So, if you want to start, the money market sounds like a good place to start from, okay? And you can always, Brother Anayo is an in-house resource person. Sister Lillian is an in-house resource person. These are people that you can reach out to, you know, on a one-on-one, and I'm sure they'll be able to offer you this further guidance and advice on how you can proceed. All right, so it says about insurance. This is more of an observation, but maybe you can give the person some advice. It says about insurance. When you go to the hospital these days, NHIS does not give you expensive drugs. Why? You can only get drugs that is cheaper, and they lay the more expensive one, and they lay the more. Oh, okay, and they buy the more expensive ones outside. They will ask you to buy the more expensive ones outside. So this person is just observing, maybe updating you on current.
Anyway, the reality is that these are some of those things that takes people away from opportunities. Let me tell you, NHIS is the cheapest, offers the cheapest rate. Probably you pay like maybe 10 or 15,000 naira in a year. Come to think of it, you are paying let's say 20,000 naira in a year for a 1 year medical health care. That's like 2,000 naira per month. 2,000 naira per month. And probably I'm paying 100,000 naira. We can't get the same drug. Yeah. That one with NHIS is what we call the basic health care. Let me tell you, the most important thing is consultation. The opportunity of seeing a qualified medical doctor. The money you pay can only offer you this, but you've seen the doctor, he has prescribed for you. If you have money, go out and upgrade. It's far, far better than spending that one money in a chemist shop. Because under that health care, there is no cheap scan. There is no cheap low quality laboratory test. Yeah. There is no low quality blood test. Both the rich and the poor, it goes through the same process. But when it comes to dispensing, because they are also into business, you understand? So that money you pay, they will take care of consultation, take care of medical laboratory. And when it comes to drugs, because, I mean, we have augmented that is expensive, we have Amosi, we have some low quality. But the most important thing is that you've been attended to. And let me tell you also, having NHIS, it better pass my neighbor that who doesn't have anything.
All right. So thank you very much. Like I said, half bread is better than puff puff, Abi. So if you have NHIS, you are of all men most lucky, so that you can at least get, consultation from qualified medical doctors rather than that, roadside chemists that you always go to where they prescribe all sorts of antibiotics for you. All right. You can easily upgrade, so if the NHIS is not giving you adequate cover, there are a lot of independent insurance companies. There is Leadway,
like Hygia. Like you can even, like I said, you can even take advantage of our community.
Yes.
Like the kind of services they give to my company, they will not give it to you if you go on individual or family basis.
Yes.
Because probably they tell us that for you to register for corporate, you must have a minimum of 20 staff.
Yeah.
20 staff, maybe we are paying like 40,000 naira. That's 800,000 naira. And for your family, probably you are paying like 70,000 naira. They give us better leverage.
Yeah.
If I like anybody that register maternity care under my company, it is that 40,000 naira that you will deliver. If the person is pregnant, yes, I can employ a pregnant woman. Once it comes under the company, the person delivers under that. But if it is individual, they say maternity care, that they can call like 200,000. Though far cheaper than when you go, you understand, and go and pay. So I would advise that it's always good when we come together as group.
In numbers.
So we can come together in group in numbers and register. You understand? You register and you take good advantage, maximum advantage.
And thank you very much. This is definitely a great insight for us as a foundation. We'll definitely be taking forward some of this conversations.
I will, because the first HMO in Nigeria is IGI HMO, and they are the biggest. And they offer you what you call roaming facilities. Roaming means that you register it for your son, who's probably schooling in UI or in OAU. You can attend any hospital anywhere in the country. They have a long list of hospitals in almost every state. So maybe the boy is attending one hospital here in Satellite Town. The day he travels to Badon, he will check the list of hospitals, he pick the hospitals. They are all automated. Once he get there with his hospital number, they will check, he will attend healthcare. So I think I would recommend IGEA.
And Asama.
They have a large number of hospital beds.
And there are so many others. There's Leadway, there's Reliance. There are so many of these other vendors. And some of them have very cheap products. You'll be shocked at how cheap they are. But I'm sure as a foundation, we've also taken note of some of this and we'll begin to look at the possibility of coming up with corporate packages, maybe for us in church, that we can all tap into so that we can all access very efficient healthcare systems. Those are conversations that would have. Okay, Sister Helen will take a closing thought from you and then we'll wrap this up.
Okay, so I want to add something. If you have a HMO that doesn't give you that facility that you want, because most times it's what your company, the HMO your company uses is what you use, right? Now, if you go to the hospital and they give you a drug, if you're very familiar with drugs, and they give you something that you know is not branded, you can actually ask them to prescribe for you. You can ask them for prescription so that you don't get to take a drug home and then you're using the drug and you're not getting better. Right? So even if they dispense it, if you don't want them to dispense to you, you can ask them for the prescription. I'm just saying because I've witnessed one. In fact, I know how it works. So, in fact, you can be there with a private patient, and then you're seeing them giving the private patient a branded drug, Augmentin, and they're giving you one drug that you don't even know where the company is, right? And then you're supposed to be treating the same type of illness so that you don't get to feel you're taking this certain drug and you're not getting better and you're going back to the hospital and they will tell you they've given you what your HMO covers. So for me, I'll just tell them, you know what, doctor, don't give me your drug, just prescribe, I'll get it. You know, and I think some HMOs have reform policy, yes, and they also have a platform where you can go to a pharmacy to get a drug. Yeah, so you go to the pharmacy, you don't have to get from the hospital. You can go, they have app, right? You log into the app, you request for the drug that was prescribed to you. You say you don't want the drug from the hospital, you want to get it from the pharmacy. So provided you're still covered, you're still within your medical coverage, you can go to the pharmacy and get a better drug. So you're not limited to the type of drugs you can get from the hospital.
Let me just make an input. Look, this is like a family house. It's all about brand name. Any pharmacist in the house will tell you that the combination in augmentin antibiotics is the one inside Amoxi. It's the one inside that lower unbranded drugs. Don't let us waste money unduly. You get it? I can tell you, if a hospital give you, because there are so many companies that produce drugs. Oh, I mean, the ones from PZ will be expensive. Nimet will be expensive. There is Amoxi. Amoxi is a component in the drug. You understand? And a lot of companies produce it. At your level, if you don't have much, and they give you, and it will work. There is paracetamol Emzo. There is paracetamol PZ. There is paracetamol, the one they make in Agbara. It will work. You get it? It will work.
Yeah.
You understand? Let's not get paranoid over it. Let's not get paranoid over it. You understand? It's just brand name. You understand? It's the same way Ever water is more expensive than probably other water. But you know, we are all Christians. Jesus already said it's person that is sick that need a physician. You've seen it, doctor. Take that drug and use it. You get it, take it and use it. I can tell you that more often than none, it's the same component. Now the pack different.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to our panelists. Please give them another round of applause as they return to their seats. Thank you very much for your time. Just hand it to, he'll collect them. All right. So we'll be bringing this to an end now. I'm sure we've had a wonderful time. I'd like us to receive Sister Eniola. Please give her a round of applause as she comes up to wrap this up.
Wow. Like, it's been so impactful from the start to the finish. And I've been blessed and I've learned a lot personally. And I'm sure a lot of us has learned a lot of things from this session, including the question and answer session and the overall sessions we've had from the different speakers. I don't know if anybody can just attest to that, like you've learned a lot. Yeah, beautiful. I'm really happy you came. And we are, from the entire Grace Foundation members, we want to say a very big thank you for honoring our program and taking time to come learn. Because we cannot, like I saw the last advert, your finances can't fix itself. You have to do something to fix your finances. And everything we've gathered here today, I'm sure might not be immediately put into action, but definitely a knowledge learned is a knowledge that is most likely going to practice later. So without saying much, I just want to take time to thank our guest speakers. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate your efforts, everything you put together for this, every back and forth and everything we did. We really, really appreciate you. God bless you. I want to thank everybody that put this program together, from the Grace Foundation to church. We really appreciate you. And know this, you can actually go back to the Instagram page and the YouTube page of the Grace Foundation and the Grace Trybe to actually go back to what's the word now? To relive this moment, to understand key things that has been discussed. You can actually go back there. And if you need the slides, you can actually request and send your email, or just request. We have your email, then we'll just forward to you. We really appreciate this. And I don't know if you can give me 1 minute. Bring out your phones. We want you to just go and like the program. I'm sure the live session has ended. So just, if you can just bring out your phone quickly, go to your Instagram and just like the program, give it a thumbs up at the Grace Foundation NG. At the Grace Foundation NG. So you can just give this program a thumbs up. And that gives us an opportunity to be seen and heard from in the wider platform for people to know about us and the programs that we do. So thank you so much. And we're just going to take a closing prayer and then we'll disembark. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We give you praise. We worship you. We thank you for such a time as this. We thank you. We give you all the glory. We return all glory to you for the success, for the things we've learned, for the things we'll practice, for everything that we've come to realize at the end of this day. Thank you for the upliftment. Thank you for the speakers. Thank you for everything we'll take back. And we bless your holy name for everything you've done. we return all glory to you, for in Jesus' most precious name we've prayed. Amen. Let's share the grace as we disembark. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the sweet fellowship of the Holy Spirit rest and abide with us now and forevermore. Amen. Thank you so much. God bless you. So if you have questions also, you can drop it on the Instagram.